rocking with some of the realest coaches in the game. Coach RB and Coach CB. Area code 459.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to Area Code 459 Podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Coach CB. What's up, CB?
What's up, Coach? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm ready to get this thing fired up. But before we do, let's thank some people.
Man, I want to give a huge shout out to all of our sponsors, J May Crafts, In-House Inc., and East Bay. Our store has actually just got final approved, so we're excited about that, and it's coming soon to you guys for our logo on our clothes. And also want to give a huge shout out to all of our friends and family for supporting our vision, and then more importantly, God for giving us the vision to build this culture of love.
Man, I'm super excited, man. We got somebody fire in the studio tonight on this episode. Keeling, I'm going to let you introduce him.
Man, I'm super excited to bring you guys my friend today. He's originally from Augusta, Georgia, played at Laney High School. There he was named the 2015-16 Georgia 3A Basketball Player of the Year. You were Georgia's Senior 3A Player of the Year, first team All-State, and scored over 1,500 points while you were there playing. Also, you were named MVP of the Georgia versus South Carolina All-Star Game. You then continue your playing career at Charleston Southern, where you're named to the Big South All-Freshman team, set the CSU's freshman scoring record with 537 points, becoming just the sixth person in the Big South's history to get over 500 points as a freshman. You're the only freshman in the country to lead his team in points and rebounds. Then the next year, you were the fifth player to reach 1,000 career points, was on the all-academic team with a 3.1 GPA, led the team in all areas when it comes to scoring, rebounding, assists, steals, and minutes. Your junior year, you're named first team All-Big South, academic All-Big South honoree. You're a Big South All-Tournament team, led the team in all categories again, and recorded the school's first triple-double since 1987. You then transferred on as a graduate transfer to UNC, where you then started 9 games, averaged 10 points over the last 12 games, and scored in double figures in 6 of those 12 games. You also finished with your collegiate career 1,878 points, 692 rebounds, and now that you finished college, you're now pursuing a professional career. So let's welcome to the show, Mr. Christian Keeling. How you doing, Chris?
I'm good. You make me sound good. How you doing, CB?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for coming on.
Man, thanks for having me, y'all.
Man, I'm so fired up, man. You talk about what we're talking about today, man. That just embodies everything today, guys. We're talking about lasting impact and legacy. When I think of lasting impact and legacy, it ultimately comes to my mind about culture. Culture is the manifestation of the human intellectual achievement, AKA if it is to be, it's up to me. Means that it starts with you, all right? It starts with oneself. Culture shapes, it defines, it encourages, it loves. It has no limits, and it's boundless. It proves to be a sense of belonging and a sense of distinction. We want to talk tonight about how we leave that impact and legacy by leaving our cultural imprint and also our communities to make this world better. I'm going to go ahead and start with a question. And Christian, in your own words, what do you think a cultural imprint is? And who in today's America would symbolize your definition?
Imprint means basically like somebody that leave a stamp, leave a legacy, leave something that people remember you by, or remember you something by. It's a lot like it's crazy because that question is vital right now with everything that's going on, and it just different ways you can put it. The best way I could put it is I feel like if you're doing something that you believe in, doing something that you think is right, I think it's just how the people in society perceive it. So I mean, some people like me, you, and CB might have all different opinion, but if we all could come and say it's like for the good for the people, or good for the society, or good for something, I think we can. I think that's an imprint. That's a stamp. For instance, like Dr. King. Everybody might have their different views of him and Dr. King and Malcolm X, but they all knew like they was doing it for a common purpose. They just had different methods. and they both leave their different stamps.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, you know, just using them two as an example, it's not about, it's not one right way to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's different ways to do it as long as you're doing it for one common goal. So
That's awesome. What about somebody in today's world though? I know you mentioned Dr. King and Malcolm X, and those are tremendous men that had different pathways and different ways of
Mhm.
doing things, even though ultimately upon their assassination they had similar goals. Who today would you say be that or is leaving that cultural imprint on you or on our country?
um, ooh, that's a good question. But it tends. I don't know. Barack Obama just keep popping in my head for just our society. Just I think he gave hope, especially to the African American and the minorities. Um, Even for me, you listen to, like, older people saying they never thought they'd see the day, and for me to witness it is kind of like, still like embodying, still like the power, like we still can do this. It's type, he just give us that foundation, like we could still do it. We could still be the most powerful man in the country and in the world and stuff like that. And I think it's not much of what he do. It's just so much we overcame over the years.
Hmm.
And I think he just come to the front of my mind, personally and for society. Just how much just he's so historic, and how much he embodied, that we all can do it no matter what color or what kind of what shape, no size, like, and I think the good thing about Barack was he wasn't just so focused on him being the first African American, but actually, like, trying to do stuff for all people. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I think that really stood out to the front of my mind right now.
I got you. I thought you might have been saying that just because he's a UNC fan, but shout out to
He is.
Bronx.
Hey, I'll take that too.
All
That's another reason.
right.
Yeah, and I love that you use the word hope.
Yeah.
Especially with like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Barack, they all brought hope, and they all brought something to help pave the way for other people. And I think it's important because, like, for me, my parents, Coach Britt, like, I have people in my life that have paved the way and prepared the way for me. And who paved the way for you is what I'm trying to ask. And then also, how do you honor them now today in your life and every day that you stay on this earth, that you live? How do you honor those people that paved the way for you?
I'm a big religion guy, so God is, first and foremost. He paid the way. I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him,
Mm.
and I praise him every day. I give my glory to him. But earthly people, it's definitely have to be my mom. She passed away when I was a junior in high school. So ever since then, it motivates me. It gives me a why, like, motivation of why. Like, a lot of people ask you why you do this, or why you do that, or why you go so hard, or why you play basketball, or why you this. So she's my why. She's my big WHY. So she's I do it for her. Just the sacrifices, and it just feel like I have more life for her. So I mean, I tell everybody she lived through me, but just her and God, and also my family, my pops and all them. But and then the biggest thing for me that was motivates me is, like, if I could just inspire one kid, to with my testimony, or with my work ethic, or with anything I do, then I could die happy.
Mm.
So I mean, I think when people do it for something that's bigger than themselves, everybody want to do it for their family. Everybody want to do it for their own individual reason. But I want to do it for the next kid, or the next Christian, or the next, such and such. Just inspire one kid. I mean, that's what means to me. I'm not trying to here to be a community saver or something like that. But if I just inspire one kid, then I think my job is done.
Well, it's really awesome that you said that. And man, I'm telling you, Caitlin, reading your resume earlier, man, that inspired me. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to go ahead and lace these shoes up and at least look like a hooper, you know what I mean? But with that being said, you talked about inspiring one kid. You also talked about your mom, which is heartfelt. And I know that she lives through you, because I know that you pushed that in conversation that I've had about you. Earlier, I talked about culture as a manifestation of human intellectual achievement, meaning your achievement, what you do helps shape a culture. how do you or how does that manifestation of achievement shine in your life? So when you look at your achievement, how does it embody who you are, and how does it, change the culture around
Yeah. Keeling gave me a nice intro. I loved it. But I think one of the most important things she missed out, which is, it's not in the bio, it's not nothing. I graduated college in 3 years.
you?
So I did it the hard way. My coach tell me. So I feel like the way my achievement helped shape the culture for even at Charleston Southern and just like kids in general. So I was I graduated in 3 years. I I did classes May through July just so I could graduate early. Kids transfer, just transfer, do that sit out a year. I want to do it the right way. I want to graduate, and I want to do it the right way and be able to grad transfer. And I still, and I ain't have to redshirt or nothing. So I think that's the biggest thing was with me was in the classroom. Um, I wasn't the smartest kid and I wasn't the dumbest, but I just worked hard at. I knew what I did off the court was gonna help me what to do on the court. So I just, I just tell people like young kids, you can't do nothing other than, you got to have your grades. Use basketball as a tool to further your education because the ball gonna stop bouncing one day.
Mm.
So my end goal was to at least start or try to get my grad year while it's paid for
Mm-hmm.
within my 4 years. So in order to do that, I have to sacrifice. So I have to sacrifice me going home to Augusta for me to, finish some summer school and try to get graduated in 3 years. And that's the biggest thing, that basketball provided for me was to be able to get my bachelor and then start on my grad. So I mean, that's everybody just look at, the NBA or professional, which is cool, which is, everybody has dreams, but I just know that the ball gonna stop bouncing. And then that was my road to get to where I need to be after basketball.
Mm.
Yeah, I love that you said that because I did notice that, but I didn't say it. And that's super important because I'm like, dog, this dude really graduated college in 3 years. And I came into college with like my first year already completed, and it still took me 4 more years to complete my degree. So the fact that you say that, like, kudos to you, man, that's a great accomplishment. And I think that attests to your character. Like, hard work attests to your character. I've seen it in the gym. Like, you come in ready to work, you grind, and then another group comes in after you, and you stay and get that extra work in still, even though like you're already getting paid for what you do. And I think character is a key word when you talk about impact and legacy. It has the ability to go before you and proceed into a room, and it also has the ability to stay once you set the tone for everything that you do and everybody that you're around. So what are some ways that you have shaped your character to become who you are today?
I think character is the big word, especially in all aspects, especially in my sport that I play. Um, on the court, I had to shape it to be more coachable because I came in, I was real successful in high school, and I had to realize that everybody else was successful too in college. So I had to humble myself, and I had to be more coachable. I had to learn how to deal with different types of people. And then I think that carry over like in life and jobs because you have jobs and some like you can't talk to your boss like you talk to your friend. You can't talk to your boss like you talk to your coworker. Everybody has a different tone. Everybody has different words you got to say. So I mean, it helped me to be able to communicate with different people, with my teammates, my coaches, my weight coach, and all that. And also with the character, it helped me build up toughness and the mental toughness, emotional toughness, spiritual toughness, that everything you're gonna have to face adversity in some type of your life. It's just how you get up and persevere through it. And that's what I started to live by. I got my motto in college when I start, everything ain't gonna go good. And if that's the case, everybody would be happy. But when you hit adversity, it just depends on how you deal with it and how you persevere. And I think that's the key to everybody because no matter how rich you is or how poor you is or how you look or how you shape, you're gonna always deal with adversity, and it's about how you respond to that adversity. And I think that's the true test of character. So, and I believe that because a lot of people go through adversity and turn to different paths, but if you be able to deal with it, then that's amazing right there, because people can't do it. It's different type of people. You gotta be tough enough to do it. But you know what I'm saying?
Man, Caitlin and I, when we were talking about and planning this episode, she said, I have the perfect person for Impact and Legacy because of his adversity and how he believes and shapes adversity to a positive. I will tell you this, people don't know how hard it is to grind to graduate in 3 years. Little nugget, I actually graduated in 3 myself and got my master's in 5. You know
That's
what I
big
mean?
time.
So
Yeah.
college football actually paid for half my master's. So I know exactly what you're going through. I even have a little godbrother that did the same thing in the NCAA basketball. Today, in today's world, we are going through adversity. When I say this, I'm saying this as an African-American man, a black man. There is a lot of social justice issues going on. How
Exactly.
does that sense of achievement, like you and I are kind of connected and said, you know, we both graduated with our bachelor's in 3 years. How does that sense of achievement affect your status on the world and your imprint in the world?
Well, today's world, I mean, it's kind of hard because, you know, with all the police brutality, it just, I'd be wrong when I say it. Like, you know, it don't matter if we graduate in 3 years. Any one of us could have been George Floyd. So that's the back. That's the reality of the world. Like, if we had it, like, yes, you know, it looks good on your resume, but like, you know, is I'm qualified enough, or if I'm underqualified enough to get police brutality? I think that's what irks my nerves. Like, you know, it's like, you know, you hear the saying, like, you judge a book by its cover. You know, and then it just, with this so much stuff going on, it just, that don't really have no effect. You know, it would just be another black dude dead from police brutality. You know, and another thing I was always taught by my family was, you know, you don't want to be, when you go to the tombstone, you already see the year you was born and the year you died, but nobody never talk about the dash. And the dash is what you did in between, and that's, nobody talks about it. You never see on a tombstone all your stuff you did, but that dash is so important, and it just symbolized that. And then it just bring me back, like, with everything going on. Like you said, I hope it just how the world is, but it's just so hard to speak on because it's just scary. I don't know if, like, you know, it make you scared to even have kids, you know, black sons, black daughters, because you don't know, they could be walking to school or walking to the park. They could just, you know, just because they skin tone, they might be, you know, mistreated or not, you know, it's not equal as the rest. Which I'm not saying that all cops are like that, but some are though. And it just scares me. It scares me.
You know, it's crazy that you said that. I actually had a conversation with a personal friend of mine, and they told me that, you know, when they travel to their office, which is 2 hours away from where they live, that they wear a suit because you don't know what they would have to go through just to get to the office on that trip. Like, I'm riding in the car, I want people to see me as something other than what they want to personify me as. And I told the person, I said, you know, when we talk about impact and legacy, sons and daughters, those are our legacy, right? That's us leaving our character here on this earth and embodying some of the things that we lived through. You talked about, your mom lives through you. And I told this person, I said, I'm afraid to have children of my own just because of that statement right there. Like, that statement right there really, really got me. So we appreciate the vulnerability, and we appreciate you answering that question, because that was a tough question to answer. And to be so wise at a young age was definitely a nugget. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, I love that you talk about the dash, because like you said, nobody talks about that. They just talk about the before and the after, you know.
Exactly.
And to me, when I think about cultural imprint, I think about a legit imprint. Like when you step on a wet ground, your shoe print is left. And the same thing can be said for a heart. When you're somewhere and you impact somebody, your footprint, your spiritual footprint is left on their heart. And one thing I want to know is, what kind of advice would you give to somebody that's younger than you that has that heart to serve other people? How would you tell them to leave that culture imprint, or how to figure out how they can leave a positive impact behind?
The advice I would give is all you need is a vision. You need a vision. And then I think with every good successful person that do change the world, you just need a vision. I mean, I doubt Dr. King and Malcolm X, they all had a vision. Might be in the same one, but it was a vision. But I mean, I'm big. I mean, somebody had to mentor me, and somebody had to be over me to guide my vision or try to enhance my vision. Just talk to your mentors or your trusted ones. But like I said, in order to be a changer, you gotta change yourself. You gotta make sure, because like what people said, in order to help somebody out or tell somebody else what's right or wrong, you have to look at yourself in the mirror. And a good example I use when I doing my judging and like try to change people, you already see on the plane on the safety, they tell you to help yourself first before you help others. So I mean, I think that's vital when answering this question. Help yourself. Make sure you change yourself. Make sure you're doing it for the right reason. Make sure you're doing it, for the right, right vision, the right outcome. Because some people can try to do change for like clout, or try to do change just because it looks good, or it's different reasons why you do it. But like, make sure you have a relationship with God, and make sure that your heart is doing it for the right people. So like, I mean, if the next person, like, if I'm good, if Caitlin becomes athletic director, or I mean athletic trainer of whatever team she wants, a professional team of Atlanta Hawks, I'm happy. I don't want nothing from her. I'm happy because I know that's what she wants, and I'm happy to just be a part of her journey. That's true. That's true definition of helping people. Now you saying, okay, Caitlin, let me get some Hawk tickets. I mean, it might be cool, but like that's not what I want. But if that's your end goal, then that's not helping you. You're not helping it for the right reason. So I'm just saying, you gotta have a pure heart. You gotta have a pure heart, a pure soul. You gotta do stuff for the right reasons. Because this is people that try to help people and do it for the wrong reason.
I like that you said that, and I like that you went on that vibe, because that really just leads me into my next question. Do you believe that everyone views culture as the actual manifestation of human achievement and legacy?
I don't think so. I think it's very opinion based, maybe. Because like it's a lot of opinions in the world, and that, I mean, it depends how you look at it. I mean, like I said, it's very opinion based, because my opinion might not be the same from yours to Caitlin's to the next person.
Right. So let me ask you this, because I see it right on the tip of your tongue. So maybe this can help you bring it out. When I say what people view, right? Do you believe that they have to have achievement in order to have a legacy? Is what I'm saying. I guess that's where I'm trying to pinpoint, because Dr. King, he achieved so much, right? Malcolm X, not as much as Dr. King, but in retrospect, when you read up on Malcolm X, he did so much more within his community. He was loved by a different type of person. Does that make sense? So what I'm saying is, do you have to have these big achievements to have a legacy?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because my high school coach, he put a lot. His achievement might not be big to the public eye. His achievement might be just simply, I just want to help this kid get to college. I just want to help these kids graduate. so the world, I mean, the whole world won't know that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a big deal because that's what coach is supposed to do. But
Mm-hmm.
him be able to do good in life, that might be the achievement to him. And he left a legacy to us, to the people that he helped.
Mm.
But like, so I think that's a great question because you don't necessarily have to have these big achievements.
Mm-hmm.
Like Barack Obama, he was the first black president. It's a big achievement. So everybody think, his legacy, which he deserved it. Don't get me wrong, he deserved it. Necessarily, when you do have achievements, you deserve, what comes with it. But it could be the little people.
Mm-hmm.
It could just be simple, like a guy, you could be that guy helping, giving advice or, giving that dollar to the homeless person. You wouldn't know
Mm-hmm.
that you left a legacy just because that dollar might change them. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
You talking to a kid one day might change his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
It's kids that don't, like, a dude just so happen, you just be walking on the street and you just feel like you giving advice to this kid. You don't think it changed his life. You just think you just getting honest advice, but you left a legacy on him though.
Mm-hmm.
And it depends on, like, my biggest thing is you don't have to be, it's no disrespect to, like, the high people that get the achievements and then the big old achievements, but it's the little people though, because I'm pretty sure those guys that got the big achievement, somebody had to mentor or guide them in
Mm-hmm.
order to get to where they at. So I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's just a long line of just continuation, and I think you don't have to necessarily have big time achievements. You can have your own little achievements. Because like my biggest achievement in college was graduating 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
But to an outsider, he did this on the court, he did that, that.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, Caitlin didn't mention that because that's not what it just always like on. You know what I'm saying? Like on the internet or on the forefront of it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my biggest achievement to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to help my coaches and my professors. They left a legacy on me because they helped me get to that point. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I think that's the best way I can put it.
Man, that was great, man. That was great.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was looking for. Good job.
Yeah.
I want to add to that too. I don't think. Wait, can you repeat the question?
You want me to repeat the question?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. I will repeat the question. And basically, the gist of the question is: do you have to have high achievements to leave a legacy?
And I think the answer is no, because I think about life like this. One time I was in Ecuador and I was doing missions, and we were standing inside of a huge Catholic church, just a historical place for the city of Quito, Ecuador. And they have this huge circle stained glass, and I love stained glass just because it's beautiful and the way it comes together. But basically how it's made is you take glass and you cut it, you bezel it, you solder it together, you paint it, and each piece, though being insignificant, when it's apart, makes something that's so beautiful. And when the light shines through, it just makes you stand there in awe and wonder. And I feel like life is the same way. Like each experience cuts and shapes us and colors us and bezels our heart. And when you put it all together as a whole, it creates who we are. And as you walk through life, God has a way of shining his light through each piece and each color and allowing you to use certain parts of your story that maybe you forgot about or maybe you haven't ever told anyone. And that is what leaves an imprint and a legacy on somebody else, because he's using your life, whether it's significant or insignificant to anybody else around you. It shaped who you were and your character and the person that you become today. So in a whole, it's becoming super important, not only in your life, but now God's able to use it in the big story with him, and then also with the person that you're able to share that piece of who you are with. And so that's why I think, no, you don't have to have a bunch of achievement to leave a legacy. You just have to live your life and allow God to use those experiences in that journey to help turn around and bring people along with you. Because like Coach B went through the same thing that you went through, and he went through the same thing I went through, but he's used his story to pull me along, and I've been able to do the same thing with somebody underneath me, because we can't be gatekeepers of information, gatekeepers of knowledge. Like God puts us through different types of experiences and journeys and steps. And like one time, for example, my friend's mom had cancer and she was dying. But I was literally like, I've never been through a huge loss in my family. And 2 weeks before she passed away, my grandfather, who was one of the staple men in my life, passed away from cancer. And I was like, wow, okay, God, like I see why this happened and I hate it and it sucks, but now I know how to be there for my friend because I just went through that 2 weeks ago. So it's still fresh on my mind. And so I'm able to use that experience. He's able to shine that light, though I might be hurting, to help be strong for somebody else going through that.
That's deep. Yeah.
Fire me up. That is so deep. That is so deep. I was like, CB, I got to write that down. Same color, different
I was
colors.
like, oh, man.
God shining through. Man, no doubt, man. I've had such a blast just, having this conversation with you, Christian, man. At the end of each of our podcasts, we come to what we call a huddle up. Man, you've been in plenty of huddles, man. You played at CSU, you played at UNC, the home that Jordan built. We talk about, James Worthy, Sam Perkins, all them dogs that was at UNC.
There were some dogs there.
Right. But at the same time, we like to huddle up, or we like to call to action, or just give our listeners and viewers something that they can just take from us. Because like we said, we're not gatekeepers of information. We like to pass those things along. We like to continue to help and let our light shine and use our experiences and our different cuts of glass to inspire other people. I'm going to let Caitlin start with the call to action. Then Christian, you can go, and then I'll finish up. Okay? Go ahead, CB.
One, I want you to reflect back on your life and see who has helped to bring you along and mentored you, and go tell them thank you, and then turn around behind you and find one person you can do the same for.
Mine's is simple. Try every day to help somebody out. You just a simple hey or thank you, or just be generous. Go beyond the norm to help somebody out. Just one person.
Right, man. I promise you, Caitlin and I do not talk before these episodes. We try to keep our information apart so that this can be organic. And if we didn't have the same call to action today, we did. But mine was a little bit different. And the reason why mine's different is because I want people to know that Caitlin and I are coaches. We are educators. We are teachers. And I had to look that word up today, and I want to give it to our audience. A coach, which is a noun, is a passionate, dedicated individual who unlocks hidden potential and maximizes a team's performance by believing, encouraging, and developing. Everybody has had a coach somewhere. Don't tell me LeBron James ain't had a coach. Don't tell me Bill Gates didn't have a coach. Don't tell me Barack Obama didn't have a coach. Everybody had somebody that coached them, had somebody that mentored them. You need to go find those people in your life. It might be that teacher back at Laney High School. You know what I mean? It might be that coach back at CSU or North Carolina. Just go back and give thanks to those people. But at the same time, ask them that tough question. What is their impact? What is their legacy? What is their cultural imprint? You said one thing that really caught my eye, and I had to make this decision when I was a coach. You said, my coach probably doesn't have that big, like USA, society, big, famous win record and, their famous, coaching record. But his impact and his legacy was getting us to college, changing us as men. I had to make that difficult choice when I coach. You won't read USA Today. You won't read New York Times. You won't see Coach Britton's face on it. And I'm okay with that. But there's been about 20 or 30, individual players that I've touched in their lives and changed their perspective, changed their trajectory. They're businessmen now. They are fathers now. They're mothers now, or they're business women now. So once again, ask your person that coached you, what is your cultural imprint? What does it mean? And how could I use your cultural imprint to put it on someone else? Once again, Christian, man, we've been so blessed. Caitlin, man, it's always great. We're going to leave everybody with our mottos. Once again, we'll let Caitlin start, Coach CB. We'll let Christian go, and then I'll finish up with our mottos today.
As y'all know, as always, let's get 1% better every day.
And mine is persevere through adversity.
Here we go. And you guys always know, Coach B says, love is the frequency. Let love be the frequency. Coach B's out. Thank you, Christian. Peace.
Peace, y'all.